Hello and welcome to this video about the theory of the simulated universe, made by me and just for informational purposes. For starters, what does this theory say? How did it start? Well, the beginning of it started way long time ago. In ancient Greece, where philosophers such as Plato questioned what was the true nature of our reality. These kinds of questions opened a path for idealism. Idealist thinkers considered the mind and spirit as the true and permanent reality, while matter was seen as a mere manifestation or illusion. Related to it, Plato devised the allegory of the cave, which presented the existence of two realities: the sensible world, the cave, composed of shadows and appearance perceived by the senses, and the world of ideas, the outside, which is the true nature, eternal and immutable. The myth is actually a metaphor for the idea that most people live in ignorance of the sensible world, and that education consists of the arduous path of the philosopher who deliberates his soul to ascend towards knowledge and truth. This theory is directly related to phenomenalism. It is nothing more but another philosophical theory that argues that we can only know things as they appear to us through senses, phenomena, but know as they are in themselves, the thing itself. Meaning that reality is just a product of our mind and senses, an illusion that we can see because our senses think that they are there. In more modern days, the theory started to make more relevance thanks to science fiction and movies like Matrix that touch on reality being a simulation.
We are the cure.
Moving forward a few years, in 2003, Nick Bostrom, a Swedish philosopher and professor at Oxford University, published an article called "Are You Living in a Computer Simulation?", where he argues that we live in a simulation, or rather explores the possibility of living in a simulation. This article dragged a lot of attention since that it presented not only a philosophical point of view, but also a bit of math and probability equation that explore precisely the probability of living in a designed simulation. However, the article was just a what if. In all these years, there is no real science-based evidence that provides that we live in a simulation. And on the 25th of July of 2025, yes, this year, a research from UBC Octagon has mathematically explored that this is just unlikely. It's impossible. The Dr. Mir Faisal, adjunct professor with UBC Octagon's Irving K. Barber Faculty of Science, and his international colleges, Dr. Lawrence Mikraus, Archie Sabir, and Francesco Marino, have shown that the fundamental nature of reality operates in a way that no computer could ever simulate. The undesirability is a problem that cannot be definitely solved with a formal system, as in the case of certain complex mathematical or physical problems, and is the base that debunks the whole theory in a more formal mathematical way. But the idea of the argument of this study is that some problems in physics might be impossible to solve, not because of a lack of technology or theory, but because the universe itself will have logical limits similar of mathematics. So, if we live in a simulation, there will be problems that couldn't be solved because of the limitations within the same simulation. And there could never be a single equation that explains absolutely everything. However, this also applies even if we don't live in a simulation. There might be physical phenomena that could never be completely resolved, no matter how much science advances, because the bare logic of the universe might contain limits. Such as in mathematics, there are statements that cannot be proven or disproven. Regardless, with all this information, we can conclude that there is not a single answer to this theory, at least not definitely or totally proven by someone. There's not enough evidence that says if we do or do not live in a simulation, but we should always remember that this whole thing started centuries ago, and it was just a philosophical way to see life. Thank you so much for seeing this video, and I hope to see you next time.